In 1996, a video game named Biohazard, or Resident Evil depending on where you live, was released. This game was simply put revolutionary. Arguably the game that defined survival horror, which at the time was a genre that was mostly unheard of. Survival horror has the player using whatever limited resources they can find to either avoid, counter, or directly combat horrific enemies. To put it simply, Resident Evil was a game changer. Not just because of its survival horror gameplay, but also for its interesting puzzles, great enemy designs, intriguing story, and horrendous voice acting.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
This game was such a huge success, it spawned countless sequels, numerous movies, comic books, novels, and an upcoming television series. However, while everyone was satisfied with the original game, one person wasn't. This man's name is Shinji Mikami, the mind behind Resident Evil. He felt that the PlayStation's technological limitations stopped the original game from living up to his true vision. So, a remake was in order. And on March 22nd, 2002, the 6th anniversary of the series, Resident Evil Remake released on Nintendo GameCube and was later ported in an HD remaster on PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, and Xbox One. Now, I actually made a video on Resident Evil Remake not too long ago. However, after going out of my way to platinum this game, I couldn't resist the urge to make yet another video on it. Almost a love letter, if you will. If you somehow haven't caught on from the title or previous videos, I love Resident Evil Remake. It is considered by many to be the best survival horror game ever made. I'll wait until I experience Resident Evil 2 Remake before I jump to any conclusions. But this game more than earns that title. It is also everything a perfect remake should be. It takes the essence of the original and greatly expands upon what made it so effective. But maybe I'm going a little too fast for those of you unfamiliar with the game. To make a long story short, a Special Forces division under the name STARS sent their Bravo team to investigate the forest of Raccoon City, in light of random murders all over the city. Once the team goes MIA, the Alpha team is sent in to look for them. However, they're then pursued by monstrous dogs and they take refuge in a nearby mansion where they are then split up. Now it's up to you, the player, to look out for your comrades and try to find a way out of this mansion as you encounter many horrific monsters. The highest priority above all is to survive. One thing this game excels at above all else is its tension. In order to get the platinum, I went and beat this game 10 times in order to obtain every trophy, and my last playthrough was just as intense as my first. From the unsettling locations, atmospheric music, claustrophobic environments, this game is guaranteed to make you feel uneasy on your first playthrough. But the visuals can only do so much. This game is super engaging gameplay wise. Every move you make is a critical decision. Every bite you receive, all the way to each individual bullet you fire, could prove highly consequential. In Resident Evil Remake, you really have to think ahead about what you're going to do. You have to manage your resources very carefully. Being reckless can easily result in a game over screen. When I was playing this game on real survivor mode, I was actually talking to myself out loud about my next plan of action. Don't get me wrong, this game shouldn't be a problem for anyone familiar with the series, but it makes you think and strategize. One of my favorite mechanics about the game are the Crimson Heads. If you kill a zombie without burning its body or destroying its head, it will eventually come back as a Crimson Head. A more fast and vicious zombie that can sometimes match your speed. This, combined with your limited ammunition, really does make killing zombies a last resort. This furthers the dread and tactical feel of the game. Another one of my favorite parts about this game is its sense of exploration and puzzle solving. There are so many fun puzzles in this game, and unlocking an item that can grant you access to the next available area is such an exciting feeling on your first playthrough. It also makes traveling around a mansion to complete certain quests feel engaging as opposed to feeling like a chore. Another thing I love about this game, along with the other classic Resident Evils, is its multiple scenarios. Going to certain areas first, story decisions, and completing optional puzzles can completely alter your run and reward you with additional items, weapons, or in extreme cases, entirely different endings. When I was going for 100% items on my 8th playthrough, I was discovering things I had never seen before. That's how you design a game. It also adds a strong sense of replayability along with other unlockable modes. You can unlock Real Survivor mode, which is the highest possible difficulty, And also invisibility mode, which has every enemy in the game, including bosses, being completely invisible. Both are admittedly a fun challenge that will truly test your skill, and beating the game in certain ways can unlock a variety of costumes and weaponry. The best reward is the infinite rocket launcher, which can be obtained by completing the game in under 3 hours. Not only is that a wonderful reward, but it's so satisfying to go back and one-shot every enemy in the game worry-free. This is how you encourage replayability, not by collectibles or tedious challenges, but by worthwhile rewards and fun gameplay differences. And the praise doesn't end there. Resident Evil Remake has a simple but intriguing story along with it. As you explore the mansion, you uncover multiple notes and documents that give bits and pieces to the backstory of this seemingly normal mansion. As a Resident Evil fan, the entire backstory of this mansion is just one tiny piece of a huge overarching story, but to a newcomer, the amount of exposition and revelations you get throughout the game could actually be pretty mind-blowing. And the more realistic and grounded tone of this remake really complements the already well thought out story. And the main characters are also really likable and stand out on their own. Chris is confident and courageous, Jill is cautious and caring, Barry is lovable and supportive, Rebecca is vulnerable but brave, and Wesker is a cunning and smug twist antagonist. While the cheesy lines and god-awful voice acting was a really charming quirk of the original, having the story presented more seriously led it to having much more of an impact. And there are still a few hilarious lines here and there.
You killed them with your own dirty hands! Wesker, you've become senile!
So yeah, the story of the Resident Evil Remake is pretty simplistic overall, but it's still satisfying, and its intriguing lore and interesting characters make it worthwhile. And one last thing I want to say about this game is how good of a remake it is. Again, I have yet to play Resident Evil 2 Remake, so I can't comment on this opinion as of right now, but many consider this to be the best video game remake of all time. And if Resident Evil 2 Remake falls short of being a masterpiece somehow, then this game will clearly have that title. The devs took a game filled with so much potential and amplified everything they were going for to insane proportions. Resident Evil Remake is filled with so much love and passion, and it's clearly a love letter to fans of the series. So I decided to write one back. This game is an actual masterpiece. Its survival horror gameplay is flawless, its visuals and pre-rendered backgrounds still impress, and there's so much room for multiple playthroughs. There are very few games I can call flawless, but Resident Evil Remake is thankfully one of those games.